Since the very beginning of time, man has looked to the night sky and asked the same questions. Where are we in all of this? How far do the stars go, and are we alone? Those questions still hit with the same force today. Imagine an infinite universe where anything that could happen has happened, where there are infinite worlds, infinite forms of life, even copies of you somewhere out there. Some ideas even suggest this universe could be one of infinitely many universes across dimensions that are impossible to picture. It all seems to have begun with the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago, yet new ideas argue that may not be the full story. How do human minds even approach something that might sit beyond human comprehension? Start with the biggest one. Are we the only life in the universe? If space is truly infinite, it seems wild to think this is the only world where life sparked. But size matters. Even the closest neighbors are many light years away. Life could take forms that no one would recognize. It could flare into existence for moments shorter than human attention or stretch across ages so vast it fades into the fabric of the cosmos. It could even exist in dimensions people cannot perceive. That raises a more unsettling thought. What if a more advanced species sees humans the way humans see ants? For decades, scientists have tried to turn that wonder into numbers. In the 1960s, the Drake equation set out to estimate how many contactable intelligent civilizations might be in our galaxy. A conservative answer came out around 4,000. Since then, discoveries have exploded. Telescopes have shown that planets are not rare prizes. They are everywhere. Every star checked in the last decade seems to have planets. The night sky is littered with alien solar systems. Zoom in on the numbers. The Milky Way holds about 300 billion stars. Many of them sit in that Goldilocks zone where temperatures could allow liquid water. Some estimates run to roughly 4 billion Earth-like worlds in this galaxy alone. And that is only one galaxy. The observable universe contains on the order of 175 billion galaxies. A recent analysis of Kepler data looked at systems with multiple planets and predicted that on average there are about 2 planets in habitable zones around other stars. That is a lot of real estate for oceans, rocks, and chemistry to play with. The ingredients for life are not rare. Water and carbon show up everywhere. Amino acids rain down in carbon-rich meteorites. The recipe for biology seems to be written into the universe. But maybe the recipe is not the problem. Maybe the steps are. Perhaps life needs an unlikely combination of events. The right chemistry. A sulfur spring over here. Tides churning over there. Dry and wet cycles that line up just right. If that is true, the recipe may be so finicky that life is rare and slow. That could explain why no one has conquered the galaxy or why no signals are blasting in from the stars. Here is the twist. On Earth, life appears as soon as the planet cooled enough to be hospitable. That could mean life starts easily. Or it could mean this is one lucky sample and the universe is quiet. No one knows the mechanism that turned chemistry into biology. The sample size is 1. That is why the next step is so exciting. Astronomers are moving from listening for radio beacons to sniffing atmospheres. If a planet shows oxygen, a gas that rusts and burns away quickly, something must be making it. That something could be life. Within a decade or so, there is a real chance of measuring signs like that around other stars. Meanwhile, the silence wears on. Intelligent life could look nothing like humans. Biologists disagree on whether evolution converges on familiar shapes or spins wildly different solutions every time. Run the tape of life again and you might get familiar forms. Or you might get a world where apes never leave the forest. There is no guarantee that human-like intelligence is a natural endpoint. There are millions of species on Earth, and none of them are trying to become human. Intelligence that builds rockets may be rare, fragile, or short-lived. Communication is another mountain. Human radio and television have only been blasting into space for a little over a century. Those first strong signals have reached about 11,000 stars. That is a speck compared to 300 billion in this galaxy, and a whisper compared to 175 billion galaxies beyond. Even if another civilization heard a broadcast from the 1900s, any reply would take decades or centuries to bounce back. The light speed limit turns conversation into a waiting game. You could be inside another civilization's galaxy and still sit outside their light cone so that signals cannot reach you in time. Travel is even tougher. Human lifespans are short, and space is not. A trip to Mars takes about 4 years. A trip to the nearest star takes more than 150 years. Without a new way to move or communicate, meeting the neighbors stays in the realm of science fiction. It may be that every galaxy has at least one intelligent planet right now, and yet none of them can talk to each other within a reasonable time frame. There are other possibilities. Maybe civilizations blink in and out on timescales that rarely overlap. The universe is nearly 14 billion years old. Advanced cultures could have flourished a billion years ago and disappeared long before humans walked upright. Maybe the bottleneck is self-destruction. Maybe the truly advanced are so far beyond human comprehension that their signals look like noise, or they use carriers that humans have not learned to notice. It could even be that life is already all around, but the definition is too narrow to see it. Ask a biologist what counts as alive and watch the debate start. Viruses sit on the edge. Some researchers even argue that far from equilibrium systems like fires or hurricanes could be thought of as a kind of life under a broader definition. If life is a spectrum rather than a line, then the universe might already be brimming with it in forms that do not fit a simple checklist. Under all of this sits a humbling truth. Every atom in the body is ancient stardust. Humans are the universe looking back at itself, trying to understand. Maybe life is everywhere. Maybe it is rare. Maybe it is common but quiet. The search is not just about aliens. It is about understanding what it means to be alive at all. With so many stars, so many worlds, and so much time, the odds are stacked in favor of discovery. The only real question left is this: if there is other life out there, will anyone be around long enough to say hello?